Judge Vivian Parker had dedicated her life to justice, firmly believing she had seen it all in her long career. But on that day, as she was about to render her judgment, an unexpected event would turn her world upside down. The accused was none other than her childhood friend Jeremy Wallas, whom she had not seen in decades. The charges against him were serious, but their shared past weighed even heavier. It was an ordinary day at the Louisiana courthouse. Vivian, focused, was reviewing the documents of a new case, adjusting her glasses from time to time. The room buzzed with whispers, lawyers exchanging quiet comments, the occasional sound of crumpled papers, and the scraping of chairs. For her, it was a well-practiced routine, a ballet she had mastered. Accustomed to handling tense situations, she was known for her unflappable calm. But that day, fate had a surprise in store for her. When the officer announced the name of the accused, a shockwave coursed through her body. Jeremy Wallas. Those words echoed in her mind, freezing her in place. Intrigued, she looked up, and what she saw devastated her. Jeremy, flanked by 2 guards, was walking towards her. His appearance, marked by fatigue and sadness, testified to years of struggle. Dressed in an oversized suit, he looked like a broken man. But his eyes, those eyes she had once known, were still familiar. Their gazes met, and for a moment the entire courtroom disappeared. No more whispers, no judges or lawyers. There were just the 2 of them, frozen in time. Vivian's heart raced as she realized that the boy who had shared her childhood was now accused of serious crimes. She remembered the happy days spent playing together, laughter ringing through the fields of Rosfield. "Jeremy, do you understand the charges against you?" she asked, her voice trembling. It took him a few seconds to respond, slowly lifting his eyes to hers, visibly struggling to find the words. "Yes, Your Honor," he murmured, his voice barely audible. Vivian took a deep breath, her trembling hands on the bench. She focused, attempting to read the charges aloud. Aggravated robbery, illegal possession of a firearm, resisting arrest. Each word was a weight on her heart, a struggle between her duty and her friendship. Jeremy was staring at her, not defiantly, but with a vulnerability that touched her deeply. The silence in the room was heavy. Jeremy finally broke that tension. "Your Honor, I am innocent. I just want the truth to come out." His voice was full of emotion, yet he remained remarkably calm. Vivian, torn between her impartial role and her memories, could not respond. How could she separate the boy she had loved like a brother from the man accused before her? The judge's gavel struck, marking the end of the hearing. As the guards led Jeremy out of the room, he turned around one last time. A quick glance, laden with meaning, a silent exchange that said it all. The following night, Vivian found no sleep. Memories surged, vivid and poignant like a crashing wave. Sitting in her living room, a cup of cooling coffee beside her, she was overwhelmed by images of the carefree young boy she had known. Jeremy was not just an accused. He was also her friend, her playmate. Their paths had diverged in adolescence, marked by choices and circumstances. As she recalled their first meeting, she saw herself at 8 years old, discovering friendship with a young boy who tossed pebbles into the stream. His mischievous smile and audacity had immediately captivated her. "One day, I'll leave this place," he had confided, his eyes shining with ambition. "I'll travel, I'll discover the world." Vivian, fascinated, listened to him talk about his dreams. She admired his determination, but she knew Rosfield was a place that stifled ambitions. Time passed, and rumors began to spread. At 15, their relationship became a subject of whispers. "Mr. Parker's daughter with that boy. It's not proper." Her father, initially indifferent, eventually took action. Vivian bitterly recalled the day it all ended. On the porch of her house, Jeremy had brought her a fish he had caught. "It's the biggest I've ever caught," he said, proud. But that day, her father abruptly intervened, imposing his will. "I don't want to see you hanging around my daughter anymore," he had said firmly. Jeremy, hurt, had nodded, taking with him a part of her childhood. Years passed without news, but the pain of that separation remained ingrained in her. Now, as she flipped through the case documents, guilt and memories haunted her. The charges against Jeremy seemed unreal. She knew he wouldn't be capable of getting involved in such a spiral. Vivian surveyed the courtroom, weighing the tense atmosphere. Each hearing revealed that the case went beyond a mere judgment. Sabrina Holt, the defense attorney, entered the room, determined. She was known for uncovering details others overlooked. The first witness was the police officer who had arrested Jeremy. Robert Calloway, imposing, recounted the events of that night. Sabrina, with her charismatic presence, began to question him. "You saw my client coming out of a suspicious warehouse, didn't you?" she asked. Calloway nodded, describing a young man running with a bag. "Suspicious because he was running with a bag? Is that all?" she probed, a smirk on her face. The tension in the room escalated as the truth seemed to carve its way through the lies. Every moment was crucial, and Vivian knew that justice must prevail. But deep down, an internal struggle intensified. She had to choose between her duty as a judge and her heart, which demanded the truth for her friend. The outcome of this case was not only about Jeremy, but also about a broken friendship, a bygone past, and an uncertain future. The trial of Jeremy Wallas was becoming a true drama, a tale of justice, friendship, and the struggle for redemption. As testimonies piled up, Vivian knew that every decision she made in that room would resonate beyond the courthouse walls. In one last attempt to understand, Vivian recalled their childhood laughter, the promise of a bright future. This trial was not just a criminal case. It reflected an entire life, a journey fraught with challenges. For her, the fight for Jeremy was not merely a matter of law, but a quest to reclaim her lost friend and mend what had been broken. Ultimately, the truth would emerge, no matter the cost. And for Vivian, the real challenge would be to find a balance between her role as a judge and her heart as a woman, torn between duty and friendship. The fates of Jeremy and herself were intertwined in a way neither could have imagined, and it was time to discover just how far this connection would lead them.